Hey, hey, welcome to Text Me When You Outside, the podcast celebrating the past and present leaders of nightlife, live entertainment, and hospitality. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon McEachern, followed by my co-host,
Marcus Allen.
Let's get it going. Yo, welcome back for another episode of Text Me When You Outside. You're chilling with your boy B, Brandon McEachern, and my co-host,
the illest nigga on the planet, Marcus motherfucking Allen.
Respect.
All jokes, all jacks. Good to be back post-festival, you know what I mean? Few weeks off, you looking as dusty as ever.
Yeah,
Looks like you haven't had good rest.
Shout out to the Brock City merch for those who watching. Shout out to the Brock City merch. Shoot. To your point, we just coming off of it, you know what I'm saying? July 27th and 28th, 2024, you know what I'm saying? What's
the takeaways? Nah, let me hear yours. Let me get your feedbacks on a couple areas. What you would have changed? Like if you could have made edits to the lineup live month or two out, would you have changed any names or rolled with it?
Nah, I think I would have rolled with it talent wise. I don't really have no issues on the talent. Shout out to everybody who did Brock City. You know what I'm saying? Everybody did their thing. I wouldn't have changed nothing talent wise. I think, it's going to be a challenge next year, but we'll talk about that later. You know what I'm saying? But I think we had a good lineup, man. Everybody did their thing, man. And I guess I would ask you, from an operational standpoint.
Well, before you move on, what the fuck? Because the comments is wondering what the fuck was going on with Keitra and fucking Victoria. Like, what was all that was happening? Sexy. What was all up with Sunday as it relates to the run of show? You know what I mean? Because the streets definitely want to know.
I think, not even think, it's really just a matter of just the communication between teams, you know what I'm saying? Between our side of the game and their teams, right? And then obviously, or not even obviously, but when you're doing these joints, man, there is this such thing called egos as well. You know what I mean? And being somewhat of the platform or the venue, or speaking from the promoter's perspective or the festival's perspective, you have to be democratic. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how you may feel, you got to be democratic. You know what I'm saying? So I got to think about not only the artist, but I also got to think about our fans. Also got to think about the time that the venue is telling us we got to be done, because it's a residential area. You know what I mean? Got to think about Victor and everything that has been preset in place. So to say all that, I still don't have no answer on what went on Sunday. That shit was just extra. But shout out to everybody who made adjustments. Big shout out to Keitra and Tamir and their team for making those adjustments.
Nigga Keitra gonna beat your ass when he see your ass in West Hollywood somewhere.
Keitra, you popped a lot of shit. You know what I mean? I did see you after. I gave you that bottle of Casa. You already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this out loud. You can always come and see your bro. Feel me? Like, you can always come and see me. It's love. But he was having a good time in his dressing room. Him, Uncle Waffles. Shout out to her as well. But yeah, that shit was crazy. And shout out to Victoria too. And everybody who, you know what I mean, we hit the stage. And definitely shout out to Ebony, who represents Gunna. You know what I mean?
Ebony Ward.
Phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all noticed, but Gunna got on that thing, gave us probably one of the best sets ever, all hits, and then that man skedaddled off. You know what I mean? And I just thought that was, shout out to Gunna. Big shout out to Gunna. Egos is a trip. And I'm glad you said that, because moving in the next festival season, and I'm pretty sure other people can attest to this, there's got to be a way that you can make a flyer and the artists go wherever you want them to go via your playlist specificity. You know what I mean? So if you're a huge fan of Sexy Red and you see the Broccoli City lineup, Sexy Red should be
first. That's some AI shit. That's some shit to bring up to Hugo. That's an AI gift flyer or some shit that's connected to like your playlist. That's actually hard body. Like, noted. Like
last of the ego wars with
no, that's actually a dope ass idea, to be honest with you. No, I mean that's good shit. I mean, I thought the event looked fucking good. I thought it looked really good. I thought the performances and the stage looked good. Did see comments about sound, like if you were on the second level. So that's something that we'll address from a delay level. Overall, I thought the shit could have been louder. But I was unsure.
Like if it was more content on the screens, that was we had more content planned. I did hear comments about twerk cam being used a lot, even though I do know that it's the first time somebody saw that at an event like ours. But I did hear that. You know what I'm saying?
We'll fine tune that. I mean, I think the host probably went a little bit ad hoc and just kind of went to stuff that they thought was working. You know what I mean? But to your point, would have much rather had some of the other things that we had, you know what I mean? Like a little bit more in the crowd work, you know what I mean? To finish the lyrics, different things like that. Love to have seen more of the influencers on the stage, sharing little moments, sharing little times.
And I think people understand, and I don't know if people understand how many teams
they don't
are a part of like doing an event like this. Like I think people think like, oh, it's just Broccoli City. Like, yeah, it's just y'all, you know what I'm saying? Would you like to kind of dive into that? And you don't have to go too much in detail, but just for those of us, the listeners who be trying to learn.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the teams be big. It's a large talent team. People be shocked to see how many people it takes to move talent around, get them on site and get them off site, have them hospitable, flipping dressing rooms, having product there, having the things off their riders, making sure that they technically have all the support that they need to be able to put the performances on. Like the talent department alone, you know, I was talking to a guy earlier who does a lot of non-urban, non-hip hop. And, you know, in his world, he's able to be so lean, you know what I mean, with his teams, because transparently, like non-urban, the teams and the way that the artists move, while they still may be high end and bougie and still demanding, the way that they move and the way that they demand is different. You know what I mean? And, you know, they're able to be lean in certain areas and to be very, very concise with like how they staff up. Man, like on the urban side, it's just harder, man. You know what I mean? Like I hate to make it racial, but dealing with black people and black teams, man, it takes a special it takes a special temperament. It takes a special team. What works for moving rock bands and alternative bands around festival grounds and to have them at a certain place at a certain time, man, it's not the same things that you need for urban, right? Like it's just different. It's hard to explain. You really got to be there to do it and have seen it. You need the same systems in place, but you need a special type of person. You need a special type of team. So shout out to the artist hospitality team. Obviously, you got to have producers. You got to have brand teams, social teams, content teams. I mean, the content and social team, there was one point where that was one team. Now that shit ain't even the same team. It's a fucking social team that's big, and it's a whole content team that's big. You know what I mean? Like, and they're not even the same groups, which is fucking, man, that's where we are now. I mean, content is so important that you got to have both. Shout out to the sponsor teams. We broke records, Broccoli City records. Revenue increased almost 100%. From our highest revenue on sponsorship, and increased over 100% from 2023. So shout out to the sponsor team, Siobhan, Suki, M&S, Live Nation Urban sponsorship, and then shout out to our internal team, Jack, Tiff, you know what I mean? Them motherfuckers was dogs, you know what I mean? Like tons of sponsors. So
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know a lot of folks are always having them sponsor conversations and always talking about what they doing, what they ain't doing, and they little decks. Y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all ain't
Yeah,
shit.
and really, knowing what works for you and maybe what works for us and what doesn't work for other events. I know there's going to be some restructuring calls in terms of how those deals look. So for all those out there who doing their own thing, you know what I'm saying, just think about, I would say this, right? Like out of what I learned from this particular festival experience for me, speaking for me, is once you get the yes or it's a go, take your time after that point. You know what I'm saying? Like once you get it, you got it, whether that's a sponsorship deal, whether that's an artist. My personal thing that I took away from this festival is just take your time to make sure that everything good. Church and state.
And I think to give that,
oh, yo, you got to deliver. You know what I mean? For me, you got to deliver your first child to me after I perform. Oh, and by the way, I got to perform at 10 o'clock p.m. or 10:01 p.m., not a second left. You know what I mean? Like having to, these cats be saying some wild stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the devil's is in the details. And I think going into a venue like this, things got to be a little bit more perfect where you can get away with a little bit more when you got such a blank canvas, like if you just in a parking lot or a big ass park. Yeah. You can be a little bit more nimble, things move around a little bit better. You can make adjustments. But like when you in such a venue of that type, which is a stadium, things just got to be a lot more perfect. You got to be more on time. You can't miss certain things. It's more glaring. It's different. Like, people come into the main area to watch the main stage in the festival grounds. That walk, having to go up them stairs. Maybe you had to get on the elevator. Maybe you had to get all the way to your seat to then get there and have to wait. Cause he's like, damn, what happened? The artist ain't on. Now it's like a thing where if you was just in a parking lot, you just walk back away. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's certain like fan responses that you really don't know how the response is going to be till you do it. Cause you like, damn, my bad. Like Sexy Red running 20 minutes late. You know what I mean? Now people done walked all the way and done all this different stuff. And so I think it's just a lot, but I think for sure, there was a lot of lessons learned. Probably on my side, one thing I am happy about, we ain't had this beef since, man, I actually can't even remember. I can't remember the last time we did the festival back-to-back years in the same venue and the stage and the main activations were in the same place.
Oh, no.
It's crazy. We've been at RFK multiple years, but because of the construction and because of all types of different shit like that, we've had to flip. We've had to make entrances different, stage difference.
Been a couple times it was kind of similar, but I mean, it was.
Yeah, St. Liz. And we were babies by that point, max 10, 12,000 people. So it's been a while. So, I look forward to next year's festival being crispy just based on the fact of things will be in the same position as they were last year. Fans will walk into the venue knowing semi where things are. Sponsors will know how people move and how people activate. We can get much more concise, much more detail with the teams. There's certain people we don't need as many of. Some things we need more of. So I think it's just a few things that we'll make adjustments for. But overall, the fest looked crispy. You know what I mean? I mean, the fan response was good. The social was good. Tons of content still dropping. And what I love, and we talked about this a bit, I love that we are hitting our mark and our goals of getting and maintaining the festival as a young, youthful Black festival, because that's really the biggest opportunity is them under 30 Black kids. Like, they untouched. And when you're talking about under 30 Black cool kids, pretty women, they at Broccoli City. And if they not at Broccoli City, they homegirl is, or they cousin is, or whatever it is, they was on their timeline. You know what I mean? So if you didn't see it, if you did not see the Broccoli City shit on your timeline a couple of weeks ago, it probably says something about you and your social connections. You know what I mean? Because you might be not who you think you are.
I would double back on the ethos of, you know what I'm saying, why the shit was created in the beginning, right? Like, be in that space because it was a space for us at that time. You know what I mean? And that's why it was created. So to your point, I'm happy that it's still that space for young motherfuckers to be, chill out, hang out, build. I can only imagine how many people met each other, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and then another thing, you know what I'm saying, last point, because this is obviously, we're going to come back with interviews next week, but it's another, you know what I'm saying, Broccoli, text me when you outside light. But for the last 10 minutes real quick, I would love to touch on why we created this podcast in the beginning. And the title specifically, you know what I'm saying? Text me when you outside. So, yo, check this out. So, oh, my God.
Y'all niggas get on my nerves.
Yo, man, just hit me during another time than just the festival season. I mean, Jesus. Some of y'all.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. You know what I just
hit me another time.
You know what I just seen, right?
I do.
You know what I just
I do it.
Like,
I get niggas like, yo, what up? Just checking in. Knowing good and well I'm going to ask him for something in August. But, dog, I'm going to hit this nigga in May. Just like, yo, what up? You good? Like, just check on a nigga.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like the blessing of it's like the gift and the curse of being in the festival game and being in DC for years. And people, there's so many people who feel vested in the growth of the festival, right? Who have been a part, who have seen the growth, who honestly, genuinely, I believe, feel like they shouldn't even have to buy a ticket. They genuinely feel like that. They genuinely feel like that they have been at the ground level and the thought of them buying a ticket just does not make any sense, right? True or untrue?
I don't get that.
Whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever. You would never do that if you gotten 2 or 3 pair of Nike sneakers and then Nike hit you and was like, yo,
sells anything. You never ask nobody for nothing free. I would never, bro, I'm not asking you for, come on, stop.
Yeah.
But go ahead, I'm listening.
Especially if you done got it free a few times and then the one time they like, yo, this is super good. I need you to come out of pocket. I'm going to come out of pocket, right?
Of course.
But I'm gonna tell you something else I just seen. Hugo had mentioned this to me on the call earlier. Then I found the podcast. It's the Full Sin podcast with Dana White from the UFC, and he talking about, you know, they got the next UFC joint. I think it's UFC 503 or some shit at the Sphere in Vegas. Mm-hmm. He like, yo, it's gonna be the biggest, best live sporting event, combat sporting event ever on history. He like, yo, I'm 20 million in on just production only. 20 million on just production. No talent, no fighters. 20 million just production. You know what that nigga said?
What?
It's a white man saying this, Dana White. Mm-hmm. He said, yo, no comp tickets. If you want to support me on this one, you're going to have to buy one.
It's real. It's real.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy.
Naomi, our producer, I hope you find that clip.
Seating arrangements are going to be very interesting. It's obviously a high demand fight. There's a lot of people that want to go, from Tom Brady to Halle Berry to Jared Leto to Bob Menery.
Bob's gonna ask for front row seats.
To a lot of
this
people.
Is going real fast.
There's a lot of A-list actors and A-list people that want to come there.
This is literally going to be a one-of-one event. Literally, all the tickets are going on sale. I'm not even...
Bro, if you don't... I'll tell you what, if I don't go to the Sphere, our relationship's dead.
Wait, but Dana, did you think this was going to be as difficult?
Normally, we have like a block. You know, you guys know my block that you've been there many times. Literally isn't even going to exist. We're selling all the tickets. So it's going to be a one-of-one event, one time. You know, I'm in this thing $20 million.
That's what I was going to say.
It's just straight business for everybody else.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's important, right? Because I think people don't understand... You know, at the end of the day, like, how much a single giveaway ticket is. You know what I mean? And I think also, too... Right, yeah, nah, for sure. I think people take it for granted when it's them, they homegirl. It's like, yo, you know you just asked me for $1,500. You asked me for 4 tickets.
Another thing is, though, shout out, because I know a lot of close friends listen to this, too. So, shout out to the folks who did support and bought your merch and all that. You know what I mean? Respect to you, you know what I mean? Hope you got your stuff. I know you rocking it. I know people stopping you, asking you what is that, you know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you for that, you know what I'm saying? And that's light work, you know what I mean? You should have been doing that shit.
Yeah, let's make sure we put the merch link definitely on there.
Gotta be around the festival. You know, everybody who did their hang outside.
Nuts. Mark Barnes, I talked to Mark Barnes. He like, yo, great weekend. Like it was damn near homecoming of the summer.
To the brothers that I had the words for, we end up piecing up. Big love to y'all. It's all love. I get it. I understand it. You know what I mean? Love. You know what I mean? It's a vibe. Yeah, it's dope. Shout out to the Women in Music event. You know what I'm saying? Like, and us having a chance to be able to honor women. I think that's another thing that I love that we do in terms of these weekends. You know what I'm saying? Not just Broccoli City, but other things that do these weekends. You know what I mean? And I think that is dope, and really trying to understand and do a better job of, like, not even do a better job, but continuing to monetize the full weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love
something else too. I still would like to be even more engaged, like on the after shit and the pre. You know, I think the after parties are still super tough. Like, I don't know what it is about Broccoli City Festival. People just get so fried, so active that when it comes to the after, folks just want to be on some chill. Folks want to, they want to go out, but they don't necessarily want to go to the club. Like, folks want to vibe out a little bit. So we'll have to explore that.
I guess the question would be, and this is a good one, and I is it one day or is it 2 days? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about, festivals moving forward and just where they're going, like, what's your thoughts on 1 day or 2 days? Like, do you feel like you enjoy 1 day festivals? I mean, one thing we talk about is that weather and how beautiful it was. So shout out to the Most High.
Incredible.
It was.
I think where I'm at right now, if you asking me right now, and I'm definitely, like, in the month of September, I'm going to spend, like, real thought capital and, like, trying to redevelop the full business model. But I think in my mind, I feel like that the best situation for us is our 2 reduced length days, like 4 to 11, 2 days.
I mean, we did that this year.
5 to 11.
Took a notice of it, but usually the festival will be a noon event. You know what I mean? Started that thing back a little later.
But I think to me, that's what it is. Like, starting 4 o'clock right before dusk. You know what I mean? Everybody show up at 5 anyway. So it's like, now the lineup got no fat, no smaller names, all pretty much go-to names. I think the biggest thing is really just fine-tuning the business model, fine-tuning the talent costs. But I mean, I think it's pros and cons to the whole shit. You know what I mean? This whole festival world has got to be refined and looked at in detail across the whole shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it changes depending on where you at, right? And not where you at, but just in terms of the demographic that you are serving. I believe the Essence model is probably way different than Lollapalooza's model or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, the race thing does matter.
I'm gonna tell you something else that I think it's starting to matter. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out. It's a handful of festivals that happen, urban festivals that happen late in the year. It'd be interesting to see, are people over it? Right? It's like, is it a point now where folks have moved on to other types of situations and things, tours, homecomings, college? It's a lot more lower price things that can occupy you, that you don't got to go spend $200, $300, $400, right? Where in the summertime, if you're not from DC, now you can turn that into a quick little summer vacation and go fuck with Broccoli City. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you know what I mean? I can make that a weekend thing. So it'll be interesting to see how some of the fall urban festivals do, from the lens of just straight up how are tickets selling. You know what I mean? I think that'll tell us a lot. B, when you gonna start booking? Like, what's your timeline on booking?
I'm thinking about it now. I mean, probably after Labor Day for big names. Go ahead and start those conversations going now. I mean,
so who we thinking? Beyonce or what? Beyonce, Jay-Z, or Kanye West coming out of retirement? Like, what's happening?
I don't know. I still got to talk to the young folks. You know what I'm saying? Still touch the pulse of the streets. You know what I mean? It always comes from the streets, man. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see, man. It's gonna be very interesting this upcoming period. But,
Yeah, I think if people really saw the process of that and really understand that if that lineup be booked when it's cold outside,
yeah.
the year before, I think people would appreciate our lineups a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, when that thing dropped during that time, you know what I'm saying? So all that's coming back February when all the festivals start dropping. Pretty sure Coachella already done. You know what I'm saying? Real life. Pretty sure they already done. About to be. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, one thing you know for sure, they ain't got no hip hop as the headliner. That's for sure.
Nah, hip hop ain't really. You know what I mean? I think our homie Dan talked about that at the trap joint. Shout out to the boy Dan. Is that his name? Dan? Yeah, D.
Yeah, Dan. Yeah. Trap. What's Trap Tab. Trap. Yeah.
He talked about the whole death of this hip hop space. You know what I'm saying?
That was an interesting lens that he laid out. And he was very factual. Dan is always very thorough. He don't never say nothing just on opinion. He be having a lot of support and information. But you're right though. I mean, the hip hop shit is in a weird spot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's in a weird spot. And honestly, I really feel like that it's self-inflicted. It's very much self-inflicted.
Yeah, I mean, but also too, there's so many people trying to feed you that. Like at one point, hip hop was, you know what I'm saying, everywhere, especially in the growth of festivals. Like in the growth of festivals, like hip hop was a permeating factor in the. And I ain't talking about festivals from the jump start. I'm talking about when it was
in the past 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, it was just all hip hop. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. It's a very interesting landscape with that, but not seeing as much hip hop as I did see at one point on these other festivals. Next time we come back, I want to have us a nice person to rap to for some things for us to build on. But yeah, I'm good, man. I don't know if you got anything else you want to tap in on.
Nah, man. I think this really was just a post festival convo between us. I mean, honestly, man, this shit just the festival shit. It just be so many ups and downs, be so many things that go into it. You know, I think one of the things I love to do over this next little minute is just have different people come on. You know what I mean? Maybe from the team, maybe bring on TIFF, pop sponsorship shit. You know, bring on different folks to give some internal perspective. You know, B-Pank could be somebody good. He's seen a lot. B-Pank's seen a lot. He one of the few cats like us that done built them, seen them, mad venues.
I don't be knowing what people want to learn about. So I think it'd be dope to have like a springboard too. Like
niggas don't know what they don't know, which is interesting.
You know what I mean? Because it's so much. To your point.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think we done said this before. I wouldn't even set nobody up and tell them like, oh yeah, go do a festival. Like even if you had the chicken, I still wouldn't even tell you to go do that shit.
Yeah. The landscape a little different these days. Because you may not even need all that, you know, to be honest. You may not even need all that. All these artists and all, you don't even need all that. You know what I mean? But anywho, I'ma holler at y'all. I'm good. I ain't got nothing. Till next time. But try to do it a little bit earlier, you know what I'm saying? But definitely text me when you outside.
Yeah, that's funny. Say text me earlier, but just text me when you outside because y'all get on my nerves. Man. Y'all, I don't think, hold on, let me just say this. Do y'all realize, I don't think people realize that our days as founders, 60% of our stress be making sure y'all's dumbasses got inside.
Yeah, I want to make sure.
Because you ain't check your email. Or you didn't ask for enough tickets because your cousin came last minute. Or whatever it is, like, man.
We always be accommodating, you know what I'm saying? But
I just wish y'all, to B's point, I just wish y'all would accommodate us and understand that these days are a lot on us. And when you talking about, I called you or sent a text message, motherfucker, you and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas is getting 100, 200 text messages in a 8-hour span. So like to think that your text message stood out, man, we missed that shit, man. My apologies. I hit you in the morning. You know what I mean? But that aside, we appreciate y'all's support. We know y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know y'all don't know y'all be tripping, but trust me, y'all be tripping. But I guess to B's point, when y'all get outside, text us.
Shoot me a text, y'all.
Signing off. Little post festival. We ain't got nothing too crazy to pop shit, but we're gonna come back. We're gonna have some guests. We're gonna get the energy back going. We just wanted to tap in, you know what I mean? Like, don't take our soberness and chillness as weakness. We just chilling, you know what I mean? We just in build mode, you know what I mean? We're gonna come back with more content. Look out for content. Naomi about to get the YouTube popping. We got tons of recap, tons of influencer, tons of behind the scenes footage we're gonna put on YouTube. So keep tapped in on the Broccoli City YouTube. Stay tapped in on Text Me When You Outside, IG and social pages. And yeah, stay connected. You know what I mean? Marcus Allen, Broccoli City, signing off.
I'm out, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all. Me and Brandon here. Y'all know what time it is, man. Text me when you outside.